Welcome to Rauta. I am Jerry, and this time we'll talk about some upcoming black metal event in my home city, Turku, Finland, southwest part of this country and all. Now, Turku Saatanalle is not a new festival, nor it should be a new thing for, old Rauta followers, so obviously this is something of an expected kind of a video. Last year we did this stream announcement for the bands in question. Part of the reason was that Beherit was headlining the fest. This time ain't no stream, that was planned, but decided to do it in a traditional way. So, talking about the bands just by myself and nobody else. There have been those cases previously too, when we talked about the upcoming artists gonna play there and all that stuff. However, there are some differences with this particular 2026 edition of Turku Saatanalle Fest, Turku for Satan, for you foreigners. And that is that this year, 2026 that is, there will be two different days. One day is purely Finnish black metal. Not just Finnish, but coming from Turku, the city where I happen to live. So all is very local in that sense. For outsiders, this is gonna be very, very much like, wow, you're not gonna see these bands way too often because of the locale and all. However, the second day is more traditional Turku Saatanalle Day, so it's a little bit of mixed bag of goodies coming from other parts of the world. So without further ado, let's take a look at this poster. I have nicely gotten this poster just for you people, so you know what's being planned here. Now, this actually has them all in one and the same picture, so this is not divided day by day, so bear with me. Then again, it doesn't really matter because first they're gonna be sale of these 2 days tickets, and if only not them are like sold out closer to the date, then there will be 1 day tickets. So maybe that information is not even necessary at that point. Now, all the information can be found also on Metalli Helvetti, the organizer, right here on the top page, or then just respective Facebook event related to this one, where you will see, I guess, later on updated with, schedule and all. But it's too early now that we're like mid-November to talk about playing times and all. After all, this is in March, so still a few months away. Now let's start from, lowest line here to the bigger ones. So there are some names which I mentioned are from my home city, and these are, for example, bands like Chamberlain, a rather new black metal band coming from Finland, a good one, a solid one, which I really reviewed earlier on. Symphonic in a way, kind of cheesy, but in a good sense of melodic black metal, something really I'm personally interested to see how they perform live. Victimarum is another band that recently, this was late October if I remember correctly, putting out their debut album signed to Signal Rex. So very, very much like a new school of Finnish traditional black metal. Why I say new school is that these guys are somewhat younger than generation of mine. I mean, I could literally be by the age that is, for example, the drummer's father and all. So there's a big age gap. But speaking in style, this is more about like, Satanic Warmaster or, Horna, Sargeist and the like. So very much the Finnish black metal a lot of people are fans of. Then a little bit more mysterious name and with quite of a unique logo is this band called Kira. I have never seen them perform anywhere, and as far as I know, they haven't done really much live so far, not in Finnish soil anyway, like maybe at all. And they're here performing. It's gonna be interesting because I don't really know the music. This is actually one of the very few bands I don't know almost anything at all. I know little, but that's just too little to mention. Another local band is Norhem, which is tied to Chamberlain, pagan, kind of a black metal, traditional. Some people call it NSBM, but unfortunately for those fans, it's not that. Those who are not fans of NSBM can be happy about it because, while some might think it's sketchy bands because of these various reasons, no, it's not a political band, no matter how hard you wish that to be true. However, it is more like national romanticism in a way, and there are some war history things which might get some people confused about it. But, I mean, if you think that's too far, just stay away from the venue and the event and you're good to go. For us who can enjoy black metal, no matter what's the take, politically, lyrically, and otherwise in there some themes, Norhem is good. I think they have like 3 albums out. All of them have been good so far. Seen them a couple of times live too, so it's a solid band as well. Another new band, however, not from my city, is Ritual Hammer, playing one of their, I guess, among the first shows ever. And this is made by some more like experienced musicians, but it's a new band. So looking forward to see how that plays out. I know these guys have been doing some good music with other bands, so it's going to be interesting. Then going back to my home city, there's one band is going to be the 30th anniversary show. Obviously, I do have inside information, but I cannot really share it with you. So it's going to be a secret for a while. There are lots of speculation already online what this band could be. I mean, after all, it's called 30th anniversary show. So we're talking about the band from the 90s. You may use tools and your brain, to figure it out what the bands could be. I will give you a hint. It's from Turku, it's black metal, and 30 years of age next year. So do your math. Malum is another band from my home city. Also a good band, both on albums as well as live. Seen them quite a few times. Know the guys. Solid people doing solid black metal. And something that I also enjoy, seeing and listening to. They have played Turku Saatanalle before, so it's going to be interesting to see them once again. Then, however, we move to different countries. So this is pretty much, Friday already taken care of. And then we move to other cities. So technically speaking, the other day. Lloyd's is doing also the 30th anniversary show. They're coming from Estonia. They have always been this kind of a pagan black metal band with ties to history, war, and all that stuff. And if you know anything about Estonian history, it's not exactly nice and cozy and all that stuff. There are bloody parts related to our not so friendly eastern neighbor. And this is part of the reason why Lloyds have their own unique style. And this is a band that I've also interviewed. Maybe you've seen them. If not, go ahead and listen to what they have to say. It's a good band. Some might consider it sketchy, but to me it's more like just moving the goalposts. Once again, there are differences between having war history and war history from a National Socialist point of view, if you get my meaning. But it is what it is. Hell Militia is another band I've never seen live. I mean, most of these bands I have, but Hell Militia, nope. They're coming from France, and it's going to be seeing them for the first time. At least I think it's going to be my first time. I have no recollection if I've seen them somewhere briefly along the years. And this is something that have mostly throughout the years somehow escaped my radar. I mean, I know the band, I have heard it, but there's no fresh recollection. Might be one of the bands I most likely want to do interview with if they're up to that. After all, I've already done, not all of these bands, but already done one with, say, Enthrone and Mork and Lloyd's, and partially Malum too with Kalmankanta and stuff, and then there are bands which probably don't even want to be interviewed, but that's another story. So Hell Militia is probably something that I'm gonna hope I get to do interview with, but too early to tell, obviously, at this point. One of the headlining band is coming from Belgium. Belgium's probably the most known black metal band, Enthroned, who have been doing their music for like 30 plus years. Always been solid in aggression and style and no gimmick bullshit. Recently actually went through their whole discography for my retrospective video, so it's going to be actually very interested to see them again. This was one of my earliest bands I ever interviewed on Rauta 2017 when Rauta started, so it's going to be interesting to see them again like almost after 9 years. And like I said, because of the retrospective, it's going to be a fresh take in that sense as well. So solid band with a big fan base, well, very much welcoming them to my city. Bewitched from Sweden is also a name I remember already from the mid-90s, roughly, 1996 or so, and maybe 97. And I really like their kind of a thrasher take on black metal and all. I used to like of course, especially the old stuff, and then they kind of went under my radar. So it's something that I definitely want to see. Maybe the most anticipated bands for me, I kid you not. And hopefully something that is also ready to do interview. Because, like I said, haven't done Bewitched nor Hell Militia. First time for everything. Then a band from Norway, which is, in a way, the newer school of traditional Norwegian black metal, Mork. Their style has always been very solid, and while it's nothing revolutionary or different or anything like that, I do like, I have a soft spot for this kind of traditional take. And I got to do interview with Thomas, the main guy, in Norway 2022, and he was a really, really friendly guy. We met after that too, so I'm actually very happy that he's coming to my home city to perform here. There was actually talks somewhere previously about their possibility to come here, and now that it's finally happening, I feel like, yeah, this is good stuff. So obviously very much waiting to see them as well. So maybe the recap, being summarized here is all of these four main outsiders here are something, because I haven't seen them for a long time. Well, Lloyd's I have seen a couple of years ago, but definitely want to see them again. So pretty much all of the lineup is something that I'm stoked to see about it, because, they are solid bands with some good music. There are no points where I feel like, okay, I'm gonna go for a coffee or a pint or take a shit, They're all something that, at least, if not whole show, I want to see of them. But like always said, there are always, problems with the schedule, especially when you're doing evening time interviews and all. But that's my problem, not yours, obviously. So if you're coming from outside Finland, what do you need to know? Well, getting to Turku is relatively easy, whether you come from Sweden, Stockholm, then you take the ferry, nicely land on Turku soil, take a bus or cab to your hotel or wherever you're residing, and this venue, Fuusio Live-sali or live hall, is in the very core of the city. So if you have a hotel booked nearby, this is a very new place, but it should be already able to find it on Google Maps and all. It's a very center of the city, so if you just book a hotel in a very core of the city, it's easy to just walk within a couple of blocks. Turku central area is very small after all. If you're, however, coming from outside Turku, and that is outside Finland, you're probably gonna take the plane to Helsinki, and then you need a bus ride or train ride from Helsinki to Turku. Once again, the train station is very, very near to this venue, only a few blocks, something like 5 minutes walk roughly. So once again, it's very, very easy to come here despite where you're coming from. But then again, it really depends where you live. Obviously, if you're coming from other parts of Finland, you don't even need my guidance. Getting to Turku is very easy, no matter where you live. But outsiders from Sweden, I recommend that ferry. It's a good, nice way to get here, eat well, see the archipelago and stuff while eating, drinking, and whatever you're doing. Or if you're coming from Helsinki, indeed, the plane and then bus ride or train ride. About the dates, you probably already noticed. Mid-March, so 2 days, Friday and Saturday, respectively. So it's gonna be an interesting weekend with some black metal bands. Well, mostly. I mean, there are some overlapping with other genres, but you don't find heavy metal, doom metal, power metal, or anything like that. Barely even death metal. So prepare your corpse paints and knives and, well, not knives, maybe, probably the glove, but, studs and spikes anyway. And bullet belts. And a little bit money for the merch, in case you are a fan of some of the bands. Should you now require some more information about the event, the venue, whatever, just ask me in the comment section below, and I will be responding to you in timely fashion. And obviously, like I said, after 2 days, tickets have been sold out. That's it. In case they are not sold, I think by February, whatever, this is an educated guess, there will be 1 day tickets for both of the days, unless they are indeed sold out. But enough my babble, now you do your job, find your schedule, find your budget, you will find the ticket prices at Metalli Helvetti website or their Facebook link, where you have 2 possibilities to buy the tickets. They are not expensive, so probably you're going to spend more money on eating, boozing, and travels rather than the festival ticket. So with that information, time to buy the tickets. See you there in March in Turku, Finland. Bye.